Dear students, welcome to lecture 5 of week 5, wherein we have been talking about processing and financing of export orders. In this lecture, we are going to talk about role of banks and financial institution in export orders. Let us begin the journey. In today's lecture, we will be first talking about introduction and significance. After that, we will talk about core functions of banks in export finance, followed by credit appraisal and risk assessment. After that, we will try to understand financing instruments and services, followed by payment mechanisms and foreign exchange support. Consequently, we will try to understand export credit insurance guarantees as well as specialized export institutions such as Exim Bank, ECGC, and DFIs. After that, we will throw some light on international agencies and government support, followed by SME financing and technological innovations. At the end, we will discuss challenges, future trends, and then we will conclude our discussion. Dear students, it is important at the beginning to understand that banks and financial institutions play a central role in the functioning of international trade. International trade is only possible with capital inflows and capital availability. However, because domestic capital is not sufficient, capital from additional support is always required, which is provided through the channel of banks and financial institutions. Banks and financial institutions not only provide credit but also facilitate payment, documentation, risk mitigation, as well as exports compliance. The involvement of banks and financial institutions in international trade is also very important because it enhances exporters' confidence, reduces the transaction risk as well as ensure fair finance availability to the exporters. Thus, institutional support through banks and financial system transforms export potential to actual trade performance for a country. Let us now try to identify the role of financial intermediaries in trade. Financial intermediaries are the institutions that act as middlemen or middle institutions between banks and exporters. These financial intermediaries provide financial resources through the export throughout the export cycle. They also facilitate secure and efficient payment mechanisms for the exporters. Financial intermediaries offer risk mitigation tools against buyer default, currency volatility, and political instability. Not only this, but financial intermediaries also support compliance with regulatory, documentary, and foreign exchange requirements. As we all are aware that foreign exchange requirements are integral part of international financial transactions, thus financial intermediaries assist in understanding and mitigating the risk associated with finance with foreign exchange. Finally, financial intermediaries strengthen trade infrastructure through specialized financial products. Let us now try to understand the core functions of banks in export finance. Banks extend pre-shipment and post-shipment credit to exporters, which minimizes not only the risk of the exporters but also provide them working capital financing. Second, the banks facilitate international payment system through letter of credit documentation, collections, and different types of remittances. Banks also provide foreign exchange management, which is technical know how. Several of the small and medium enterprises that are into the export do not have resources for availing human resource or human capital that are expert in foreign exchange management. Thus, they can outsource their foreign exchange management issues to the banks, and thus banks can facilitate this technical part of the exporting business. Also, hedging services which are used to minimize the foreign exchange risk is also very important because in exports, two or more than two currencies are involved. Again, for hedging, there is a requirement of technical know how. Generally, small and medium enterprises or other exporters may not be able to avail this technical know how on their own. Thus, in such a scenario, banks act as the savior to provide them technical know how and advisory services relating to hedging of the foreign exchange risk. Similarly, banks support exporters through credit insurance, guarantees, and advisory services. In addition to it, bank acts as intermediaries between exporters, importers, and government support schemes through which exporters receive incentives and other types of benefit with which they can contribute in a better manner towards the international trade. Let us now try to highlight the importance of credit appraisal and risk assessment. Credit appraisal and risk assessment evaluate exporters' financial strength, repayment capacity, and credit history. These two things assess order details, buyer's credibility, as well as the trade risk. The credit appraisal and risk assessment also considers issues such as collaterals, guarantees, or credit insurance cover for the exporters. Not only this, but credit appraisal and risk assessment also monitors export market conditions and regulatory compliance that are very important for exporters. There is an involvement of risk-based pricing and credit limits which are tailored to exporter profile. Let us now try to understand the importance and support which banks provide in pre-shipment and post-shipment scenario. That is the banking support for pre-shipment finance and post-shipment finance. In pre-shipment, banks provide benefits and assistance such as packing credit, finance against raw materials or intermediate goods, and advances against export incentives such as duty drawback. We all know that duty drawback is only availed when the exporting transaction is completed. That is, when payment is realized, even after that, the duty drawback is given to the exporter. Thus, based on duty drawback that will come in the futures, bank can provide assistance and finance to the exporter. In the post-shipment period, the benefits which are given by bank to exporters include bills purchase or discounting of the bill as well as advances against bills for collection. Banks can also extend export receivable financing for the exporters. Thus, banks ensure timely disbursement and flexible repayment option for the exporters. Not only this, periodic monitoring by the banks ensures utilization for export related purposes. Let us now throw some light on export credit instruments and services. We will discuss few of the important export credit instruments and services. The first is packing credit. This is a short-term working capital which is given by banks which is used before shipment. The second is bill discounting or discounting of the bills. These are early and advance payment against the accepted bills. The third is buyer's credit or supplier's credit. This is the financing assistance given by banks for overseas buyers or suppliers. The third is advance against incentive finance which is provided by banks against incentives which may accrue in the future such as duty drawbacks or subsidies. And the fifth and the last one is the foreign currency loans. Banks provide loans that are denominated in major currencies to hedge the forex risk. Let us now move to documentary credit and collection mechanisms. There are three main documentary credit and collection mechanisms. The first is letter of credit. Under this, the bank undertakes payment obligations subject to compliance with export contract terms. The second is documentary collection, wherein bank acts as an agent for collecting payment from the importer. The third is bank guarantees, where assurance of payment or performance obligations is taken as a note from the side of the bank. These document credit and collection mechanisms facilitate trust and reduce payment risk in cross-border trade. These mechanisms and documentary credit facilities also support exporters in, negotiating favorable payment terms. Dear students, it is also very important to understand the foreign exchange and treasury services extended by banks to exporters. Banks provide foreign currency loans and they also manage the currency risk. As the technical know-how for currency management is missing from most of the exporters' profile, in this case, banks acts as the savior on behalf of the exporters. Banks also facilitate financial contracts such as forward contracts, options, and swaps for hedging. Hedging is the way in which a portfolio of foreign exchange can reduce the foreign exchange exposure. The foreign exchange exposure may be because of economic factors, political factors, or other currency fluctuation factors. Banks also offer advisory services on exchange rate trends and regulatory compliance for the exporters. These foreign exchange and treasury services by the banks ensure adherence to central bank guidelines on foreign exchange transactions. If the central bank guidelines are not followed by exporters, there may be huge penalties or there may be seizure of operations. Thus, banks come as a savior and provide foreign exchange and treasury services so the exporter need not worry about the central bank guidelines compliance. Also, these foreign exchange and treasury services support exporters in invoicing, repatriation, and conversion of export proceeds. Let us now try to focus on export credit insurance and guarantees. These export credit insurance and guarantees work with Export Credit Guarantee Corporation and similar other agencies. The different export insurance and guarantees provide cover against commercial, political, and transfer risks. They also support banks in reducing the capital requirements through guaranteed lending. These guarantees also enhance exporters' borrowing capacity and negotiation strength. Not only these, Not only this, these export insurance and guarantees also reduce the default risk of the exporter and promote sustainable trade financing. Let us now try to understand the specialized export financing institutions. The specialized export financing institutions are formulated and established by governments to facilitate and help the exporters. These institutions provide targeted financing support beyond commercial banking services. These institutions also develop sector-specific financial products, for example, project exports, capital, capital goods, etc. These special financing institutions supports overseas investment, project building, and buyers credit schemes. In addition, these financing institutions play a play a catalytic role in building export competitiveness and infrastructure for the exporters of the country. Let us now try to understand one of the specialized financial institutions and its role. Exim Bank, that is Export Import Bank, is a specialized financial institution in India to facilitate international trade. Let us try to understand its important role. Exim Bank was set up in 1982 as India's apex export finance institution. This Exim Bank offers buyers credit, suppliers credit, lines of credit, and overseas investment finance. Exim Bank also provides export advisory, market intelligence, and capacity building services. Not only this, but Exim Bank also facilitates joint ventures, project exports, and strategic trade partnership. Exim Banks collaborate Exim Bank collaborates with multilateral agencies and foreign banks for co-financing. These multilateral agencies are WTO, IMF, World Bank, that is IBRD, etc. Let us now try to identify another specialized financial institution. It is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. This corporation was set up in 1957 by the Government of India to support exporters as well as banks with credit risk insurance. ECGC covers commercial risks such as default, insolvency, and delays, as well as political risks such as war and transfer restrictions. Export Credit Guarantee Corporation encourages banks to finance exports to high risk markets. The ECGC also offers specialized covers for small and medium enterprises, and sector specific exposures are also tackled. In a nutshell, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation is integral to India's trade risk mitigation and promotion ecosystem. Let us now discuss another specialized financial institution. It is known as development financial institutions. These are institutions that are set up by the Government of India which offer medium and long-term financing for export infrastructure and capacity building. DFIs support modernization, technology upgradation, and export diversification. Export diversification is important to diversify the risk which is in different markets. DFIs also provide project finance for industrial clusters, ports, and logistics network. Development financial institutions in India collaborate with Government of India and other multilateral agencies on trade development programs. Let us now try to identify certain multilateral and international financing agencies. These multilateral and international financing agencies are those that operate in more than one country, and they always target to facilitate the global trade. One of the examples is World Bank or International Finance Corporation. These two organizations and institutions provide project-based financing and trade facilitation programs. Another example is Asian Development Bank. This bank provides trade finance programs and risk participation for the benefit of the global trade. Such type of multilateral and international financing agencies provide guarantees, co-financing and syndicated credit facilities. These international financing agencies also strengthen global trade finance ecosystem, especially for developing economies. Let us now try to focus on government and central bank support. Central banks set regulatory frameworks and refinance facilities for exporters which benefits them. Schemes such as interest equalization schemes are also offered to exporters that lower the borrowing cost. Government and central bank has created several export promotion councils and ministries which offer grants and incentives to the exporters. The government and central bank also provide from time to time different collaborative programs that link banks, government and trade bodies. Finally, the government and central bank support enhances liquidity and ensures alignment with national trade objectives. Let us now try to focus on small and medium enterprises and priority sector financing. There are special schemes for medium and small medium enterprises to address the collateral and documentation barriers. Not only this, under the priority sector financing, there are simplified appraisal processes and flexible repayment terms. The SME and priority sector financing is a targeted credit line for export oriented units and startups. Thus, small and medium enterprises and priority sector financing encourages wider participation in global trade. We can also add one important thing that as India is a developing country, large population is dependent for employment on the small and medium enterprises. Thus, specific financing facilities for small and medium enterprises promotes and create larger employment opportunities, thus benefiting not only the exports but also other economic indicators of the country. Let us now try to understand the technology and digital innovations in the banks and financial institutions. Several digital platforms for trade finance documentation and for approval processes have emerged, and there is an important contribution of banks and financial institutions. Blockchain enabled trade settlement has increased, which is real time tracking. Also, artificial intelligence based credit scoring and risk assessment has become a new digital way of doing trade. Under technology and digital innovations, online trade finance marketplaces has also been introduced that improves accessibility for small and medium enterprises. The digital and technology innovations enhances speed, transparency and cost efficiency of export financing, which benefits the exporters. Dear students, let us now conclude what all we have discussed in today's lecture. We have discussed and identified that banks and financial institutions form the backbone of the export financing ecosystem. We have also appreciated that their role, that is, role of banks and financial institutions, extend beyond credit provisions to risk mitigation, advisory, and trade facilitation. With the help of collaboration with government, insurers, and multilateral agencies, banks and financial institutions promotes and enhances trade competitiveness. Finally, to sum up, digital transformation and innovative instruments used by banks and financial institutions are reshaping the future of trade finance for India. Dear students, thank you very much for being there in this session with me.